Prospector's Monument, in my opinion, has to do with not only is Ed Shefflin buried there, and that was his thing. He was a silver miner here in Tombstone. That's where Tombstone got its name. When he came west, they told him the only thing he was going to find out west was his tombstone. When he struck silver, that's what he named it. But the shape of the monument up the hill is the shape of the statue or structure they would have built once they staked their claim. They stuck their stick in the ground, they put rocks around it to hold it up, and then they put their claim on that stick. And that's how they staked their claim, and that's why it's that shape.
Tombstone may have started with a silver claim, but John Marshall says his smoker is worth its weight in gold.
We opened up in October of 16, and that thing's run nonstop at a minimum of 5 days a week, 24 hours a day since we opened. We have our ribs, chickens, we smoke our potatoes. They're a minimum of a pound each. Beef brisket flats, bone-in pork butt, and of course more ribs. So this smoker will hold about 500 pounds of meat.
With big portions and big flavors, there is nothing puny about this barbecue joint, except the name.
Welcome to Puny John's Barbecue, located here at 11 South 4th Street in downtown Tombstone, Arizona, right next to the OK Corral.
Notorious nicknames are a hallmark of Tombstone. The more colorful, the better the backstory.
Started out with 6 cases of beer and a couple pints of Jägermeister. There's a couple more cases of beer and a couple more pints of Jägermeister. Next morning I got up for work, and my wife's like, you need to call this person and apologize, you need to call that person and apologize. And she got on the phone behind me and said, yeah, it looked like John this morning, only punier. So Puny John stuck.
John even has a unique name for his style of smoked meats. Awesome, all-around Q. The story behind that is all over the map.
Grew up on the East Coast, born in Philadelphia. 5 years in Pennsylvania, 5 years in Florida, 12 years on the Eastern Shore of Maryland. So I traveled all up and down the I-95 corridor, so North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia barbecue. And I joined the military, and we went everywhere. My first base was Texas, and then we were in Oklahoma. From there, we went to Kansas City, St. Louis, Memphis. So anywhere that was famous for barbecue, we went and I tried it. So I tried to take a little bit of each portion of the country, tried to kind of meld them together into our own version.
Then, one of his tours took him to South Korea.
I started cooking for my fellow airmen on Sundays, and we started out with about 20 or 30 people, and after about 6 months, I was cooking for half the base. It was like 200 people every weekend, and that was the genesis for the restaurant.
Puny John makes every recipe from scratch, including his 6 sauces, with saucy names to match.
For the tenderfoot, we have our wussy sauce. That's our basic ketchup, brown sugar, and a bunch of other stuff, but without any of the spices that we put in. And then our ass of fire sauce is the hottest. It's double the amount of habanero, and then we buy an extract of ghost pepper, which is 5 million Scoville units.
That one's not for the faint of heart, nor is his Boot Hill burger.
You eat one of those, it feels like you're gonna have a heart attack. Boot Hill Cemetery is right down the street. A Boot Hill burger is a 1-pound patty, and it's about 2 inches thick. We smoke them for about a half an hour, and then I finish them off on a grill. A little bit of rub, a little bit of sauce.
From his popular brisket to the sides, to the fall-off-the-bone ribs, John says it all comes from the same place.
Everything here is from the heart.